all about love. Live on a check.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Live on a check with the fresh vibes. Yeah, I say
Welcome to the Sophia D at-home edition radio show. I don't even know how to describe this little beauty queen. Like, she cute for real. She is the owner and stylist at the Queen Nek Collection and the empowering business coach at Neka Dané. Don't get twisted, baby, because she is bougie and she is cute. She is fine as wine, like a bottle of Stella Rose, baby. Come through, Shanika Robinson, baby.
Hello to all of the viewers, to everyone, to this gorgeous beauty, Miss Georgia, that has given me this amazing opportunity and platform to be on the Sophie D radio, Sophie D, honey, radio show.
I love you.
I am so
much.
excited, and honored that you would give me this opportunity to be on your amazing platform.
Oh, thank you so much, baby. I know you about to give it to us. We gonna start with the very basic question. How do you survive in quarantine?
Well, first of all, my Lord and Savior, of course, first of all, I had to say, take a whole lot of Jesus,
Yes.
Honestly, with the quarantine, ironically, it wasn't as bad for me, I don't think, as some people, because I'm naturally, although people don't believe it, I'm naturally an introvert. So being at home is like my right. I am probably the most introverted extrovert you'll ever meet. I'm introverted.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's true. I promise. Scouts.
Okay. Neka, what I'm not gonna let you do is lie on my radio show like that.
Listen.
That's disrespectful.
The woman of God is not gonna lie, I promise. But listen, if you ask anybody that knows me, that is close to me, I'm the most introverted person that you would meet. My purpose calls for me to be an extrovert. So it's kind of, with the grace that God has given me for my roles and purpose, I have to. But if you give me the option, if I come into the room with a bunch of people, I'm going to go sit down over here and I'm just going to be chilling and watching, the scenery until if I have to get the mic and then the switch comes on. And, then.
But I love that you are a little bit of both, because I'm an extrovert all the way. And I'm a hugger. So, I love being around people. But you know what? I have not really complained being at home. So, like, I feel like an introvert. Like, I'm okay being by myself right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I'm straight. Like, I can stay home 3 more months and work and be cool.
Hello, somebody. Hello, I can stay right here. You sure you want to lift it? I don't need know where I need to go. I think a lot of people realize the value in being able to stay home with family and to kind of slow down.
Right.
When a lot of times we're not able to. Life doesn't allow us to slow down that much. And so I think a lot of people probably are going to come out of this quarantine and see the value of slowing down, being at home, being with family, marriages, husbands, kids, all of the above, I think, in my opinion.
Yes, and I love that she said that, once we kind of get out of this, we will learn so much about ourselves. And my next question, Shanika, what have you learned about yourself during this time?
Well, for me, I think the most important thing is I learned that my faith was a lot stronger than I realized. Being a entrepreneur, a single mother entrepreneur, my brand is pretty established, but just like every entrepreneur, I'm sure will say, a business owner, when this first came, it kind of came as a shock. And it kind of came to say, like, oh my goodness, we're going to shut everything down. And with my Queen Nek Collection brand and business is hair care products. And I have an outside lab that's out of state. So for me, I was looking at, okay, how in the world is shipping going to go? Is it going to be allowed to be shipping? Are there going to be shut down? It was so many things. And so I really had to dig deep, and I really learned that, my faith was a lot greater than I thought, because I instantly was able to pray, and I said, okay, God, we're going to do this. Let's do it. And I was instantly able to pivot, like with no friction, you know, and that's not bragging because that's by the grace of God, but I was literally able to pivot like instantaneously to the point where I don't think people even thought that I panicked, but I low-key panicked. But
Right.
the person that I am, you know, I panic in private. I'm not going to panic on Facebook. If you see me panic on Facebook, send the troops, send the elders, send everybody to my house to pray because she done lost it. But most of the time, I panic in private. And then it kind of just re-emphasized the leader in me and the charge and the way that God has burdened my heart concerning, you know, other business owners, which is why I've stepped into the business coaching. And so I kind of like went into superwoman mode, the super entrepreneur. I'm going to encourage everyone. You know, I was inboxing people, small business. I've never even spoken to them, and they were on my friends list. And if I saw them panicking, you know, God would lead me to speak to them. And so I really just kind of put on the cape and went. And so I sat down one night and I was like, wow, Lord, that had to be you, because I'm out here like, you know, with the cape on. And normally I would be the person panicking in the corner, rocking back and forth, you know, because I'm a single mother with 2 children, and my whole income hinges on a business that may be severely affected. So I think that was the greatest thing that I learned about me.
That's awesome. And talking about the Queen Nek collection, how did your passion for being a cosmetologist and a stylist, where did that come from? Because you always have like the cutest styles. Like, they may not look good on me, but they gonna look good on you.
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I try to do what I can when I can do it. Yeah, I do what I can when I can do it, you know. But yeah. So I think back in high school were my passion as a teenager for hair. I love hair. You know, I love the outcome. I love making women feel good, you know, because we all know when you get your hair did, you know, that bring out a whole different, you know, side. You know, you be feeling busted and disgusted, but the minute, honey, you get fried out and laid to the side, you come out, it's a different posture, you know, like I've watched, you know, women come in with a hat and then leave with a different sway, you know, so as a teenager, it kind of developed. And so when I was 18, my dream was to be a stylist and to own a hair salon. And so that's kind of when it started. And I got my license through my vocational school. And so I came out of school, and that was what I wanted to do. I knew what my path was. And so we know life happens, you know, and about 5 years in is when I lost my mom. She passed away.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of was like, well, you know, never had my father, so this is my foundation. Outside of God, I knew God because I'm a PK. I'm a PK, you know, preacher. She was a pastor. But, you know, outside of that, thinking on the natural, I was like, I had no one else. So I kind of like left the scene and went and got a degree, went in a doctor's office, working with doctors, you know, for 10 years. And then when God began to deal with me at the age of 30, and I said, I know this is not it. This can't be it. And so he said, this is it. And I said, that? And he said, yeah, that. Go back to that. And I said, but I'm 30 with 2 children, not married, no sugar daddies, no nothing. Like, what you want me to go back to that? You know? And he said, go back to your first love. And so I remember praying, and I said, if you go with me, then I'll go. And that kind of, I had to go back and take the test, and he just kind of literally ordered and ordained my steps and swung the doors open and gave me favor. And then here I am 6 years later, you know.
So beautiful. I love your story. And by the way, y'all, I'm about to be real petty. Shanika and I came from Rivalry Schools, and I'm going to leave it at that. Ooh, okay.
Oh, you're a Viking. You're a Viking. Oh.
Excuse me. A what?
No, what are you?
Did you say a Viking?
You're not a Viking?
Oh, no, ma'am. That is so Antonio. A what?
No, what are you?
No, I am all the way a rebel. Hello.
Oh, that's definitely a rebel. But you know what, though? You know what? I'll give you grace. My family, you know, I'm going to give you grace. I'm going to extend the hand of grace. I give you grace because my family, my father's side, my Robinson side, is from Burns. So we have many Burns graduates.
Whew,
So
praise
I'll
him.
give you grace. But if you were a Viking, it was a wrap. Sorry, Antonio, but
Look, Tony just like, I'm just behind the camera.
I don't care nothing about that. But you are a rebel, but you are a rivalry, but with grace. I'll put it
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Because, honey, this household can be questionable at times.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, you Jesus. Yes, you're right.
Father, I stretch.
So it sounds like when the state started to shut down, it really just sounds like your faith just kept you going.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that maybe you're just one of the business owners that just, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to rely on God, do what they're asking, because some of y'all was, making some home runs and,
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say, I talked to my stylist. I said, I just want to know what happens if you get caught by the board. And she just looked at me and I said, never mind. We'll act like because I didn't know.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. $2,500 fine and license revocation.
Right. And she told me if your license are taken, you can't get them back. And I was like, oh, honey, that's money right there. Never mind.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that your business did well during the shutdown. And I think this shows how not individuals living paycheck to paycheck. I think this shows how businesses were actually operating paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, because although, I didn't take a major hit by the grace of God, but there was a hit. I did take a hit. Currently, I still can't get in products from my lab because there's a worldwide shortage on plastic bottles.
Oh my God.
Nationwide, you can't find not one plastic bottle. So my lab can't even produce what I need. So I literally had to shut down every product except for the ones that I produce here, which is the oil, which is in the hair stores. So I took a hit, but it just was not a hit that took me under. God
Right.
says, and I tell people all the time, that makes me no greater than you. That just means my faith may be a little greater. And that still does not take away from you, because I've been through some stuff. I've taken some life hits that had nothing to do with business that had to make me come up in my faith level. So that doesn't necessarily mean because you panic. And that still doesn't say I didn't panic. I just did not panic to the point to where fear shut me down and anxiety shut me down. Because a lot of people don't realize I've dealt with anxiety since my mom passed. Panic attacks, I used to have them, Medicaid, all of that.
Right.
So I'm just a regular old person. I just had to make a conscious decision to get a hold of it and make sure I had the reins and not let it drive me, per se.
I love how you word that. And the thing is, Shanika, faith ain't fair. Or not faith, excuse me. Favor ain't fair, and favor ain't for everybody.
No.
And, I didn't mean to have a little attitude with that, but, we tend to kind of get a little jealous about people when we should really be celebrating them, because the thing is, I love going to my stylist and allowing her to do my hair, but I can't do what y'all do. Y'all know y'all be doing all these bougie trims and stuff, and hey, y'all know what kind of, products to use. But, when I see you elevate, I'm like, shoot, look at my sis right there. I know who to go to, because, you got your little holy oil that be blessing people's hairlines. And, I was supposed to buy Tony a bottle, and I forgot to buy one from you. So he just decided to cut all his hair off.
You in trouble.
He bald, girl.
You in trouble. That's okay. Bald is in.
He bald with the beard, so he good. He don't need no oil for his beard.
Oh, good on that, yeah.
He just needed it up here.
You dropped the ball, sis. You dropped the ball. My God.
Let me stop talking about it, because he kind of looked at the side like, please stop talking about me.
To the camera. Yeah, that's your cue.
So sorry.
Sorry, Tony.
So can you talk about your your oil that's really been changing lives for a lot of people.
Yeah, Flourish is the name of it. And listen, from day to day, I'm telling you, it's still just, I'm only in year 2 with that. Literally, it still blows my mind.
It's been 2 years?
Yeah.
No.
It's been in stores for a year, and I had only had it out for a year. So
Okay.
when I owned a salon for 2 years, that's been shut down 2 years ago, but fresh back in, excuse me, I owned a salon and I was behind the chair, and God started dealing with me about different streams, streams of income. And we all know being behind the chair is strenuous, And so I said, okay, well, God, I want to do products. I want to have my own product line, And I began to research labs and different things. And so I remember getting a prophecy that I was going to have my own hair care line.
Okay.
I was like, okay, God, but where?
Yeah.
So I was praying and looking for direction. And that's when he gave me the oil. And so I began to research, and people always say, well, how did you come up with that? And I'll say, well, people don't like it, but I say, God got it. It's a God idea.
That's right.
Difference between a good idea and a God idea. It's a big difference. And so they look at me like, whatever, you just don't want to tell me. And that's literally how it was. When he gave me that, I went in and did the research on different oils, their benefits, what's good for growth, what's good for dry scalp, what's good for, alopecia, what's good for thickness. I had to put in the work. I remember staying up for like a week with no sleep, like minimum hours, because I was on the research and reading.
Right.
And so I mixed it all in, and at the time I had did the big chop. So I had the boys' haircut with the little line.
Yeah, I liked your short hairstyle.
I loved it. I had told myself I was gonna go back into the natural journey for the second time. This is my second natural. You know how we do. The first time I had that little fro and it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't. It was not. I couldn't comb that thing. It was so thick. It was too short to twist out. And I said, somebody bring the relaxer right now.
Yes, God.
So the first natural hair journey, I failed. So this was right after. This was right after my second attempt for the natural hair journey. So I cut my hair off. I had a barber. And so I mixed it all together. And so I said, okay. God said, well, you're your biggest, your walking billboard. Try it on you. And I was like, I don't want no hair. I ain't had no hair. I'm good. I jump in the shower. So I tried it on myself, and I was using it. Nobody knew. Mm-hmm. And so after about 2 months, people were like, oh my God, like what in the world? When I began to get a bunch of reactions on the rapid hair growth, I said, aha, the light bulb came on.
Right.
That's it. So, and after 3 months of using it, then I released it. And I'm just like anything, it came out to a slow start. People was like, you mix it? You sure it worked? That whole, I was out here hustling oil, honey, for, a little bit of nothing. And so I kept at it. It was frustrating. I was literally probably only moving, I would get lucky to move 10 bottles in a month.
Ooh.
So I'm sitting here thinking, God, I know you told me, but this is a lot of work and I'm not seeing the fruit. And he said, stick at it. So eventually, honey, I was giving it away to people who had problem areas or hair loss, just so I could gain reviews, true reviews, because I am an authentic person. What you see is what you get with me.
And that's true.
I'm kingdom all the way. So there's no way I would put any gimmicks or tricks or lies or anything to advance my business, because I just feel like that's not right. Especially with me being kingdom, that's not the way to go. So
that's right.
People begin to pour in results. It began to pick up. I had cancer patients that had radiation and had been this for like 5 years. And the doctor literally told her it would probably never fill in within 4 weeks. I never forget this. Her hair was completely filled in. And when the person that she referred her sent me the before and after, I literally cried my eyes out because I'm that sensitive. I'm a crier. I cried my eyes out because what people don't realize is your hair is your glory for a woman.
It is.
And if you lose for a woman or a man, but for a woman, if you start losing your hair, your confidence takes a hit, your mental takes a hit. It literally causes a domino effect and downward motion, depression, any of it. I don't care the least amount. You get what I'm saying? So like, to me, it's bigger than hair. I would always tell people it's bigger than hair. It's bigger than hair. We're restoring hair, but then we're restoring confidence. We're restoring crowns. We're restoring the crown of glory. So after that, it began to pick up. I began to talk with one of the stores. I asked the stores. They told me no.
Oh.
I was like, yeah. I went to the stores. They were like, no. Yeah, I got to know. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know that. They think I just, boom, popped on the scene. No, now God did it, he did accelerate me, but it's a lot of back end. And so I asked the stores, they said no. I got a couple of no's. And I was like, well, come on, Lord, like what? He said, let me do it. When I do it, it'll be sustained. Let me do it. So I went to one of the first stores, JD's, and talked with the owner, and we conversed for about 3 months, girl. It took him 3 months to finally say, okay, let's do it. And so when he finally did, it was February of 2019. When he finally did it, we sold over 300 bottles through one store.
What?
Less than 30 days.
Stop it.
He was mind blown. He called me and he said, oh my God. And I thought to myself, you tried to play. That's okay. That's okay. Over 300 bottles. I went from being excited about 10 or 20 bottles a month to 300 through that store. That does not count my online.
Right.
So after that, literally, Georgia, God just opened the doors, literally opened the doors, and they were coming to me. The store owners were finding me saying, hey, we heard about this product that you have. We need it. How can we get it? People were going in stores. Y'all need to get this. Y'all don't sell this. Well, I got to go to JD's. And it triggered all the way to I gained 13 locations.
Wow.
6 months. I gained 13 locations.
Wow, that is wonderful. But, even during this process, though, Nek, how did you handle the no's, though?
The no's were not easy. We all know rejection is not easy. And coming from someone who has always been different, who has always stood out, I mean, for the love of God, I'm bright. Right. I've never fit in, per se. And so I suffered a lot of rejection. So the no's for me were hard because rejection is something that I had always wrestled with. And we all know that can bring along other things.
It sure can.
Self-esteem issues, what's wrong with me type deal. So the no's were hard. And every time I got a no, I would shut down, literally, honestly, with transparency. People know I'm transparent. And I would say, just forget it. I'm not going to even try. But because of the fighter I am and the survivor I am and the warrior I am, I just couldn't let it go. So I would have to kind of brush my wounds off and wipe them off, and I would go in there with one eye open and one eye closed, per se.
I love it. I like your demonstration.
Yeah, like, I'm going to ask again, but I'm going to brace myself for the no. Because I don't like no. And then coming from somebody that's spoiled, per se, I don't like the word no. We don't like no. Right. Women don't like no. Anyway, most women, we don't like to hear no, but
we don't.
I really just had to sit back and say, okay, so either you're just going to sit here and not ask again and not know what could happen, or you're just going to go and re-strategize and go back until they say yes. Because somebody's going to give you a yes. So it had to take every little ounce of courage I had to go back and say, okay, can we try it again?
I think, but this is the faith part, though. Mm-hmm. You went from 0 to 13 stores.
Yes, in 6 months.
That's a testimony within itself right there.
Yeah. And the fact that I did not have to ask them, they came to me. He sent them.
Right.
So I tell people all the time, God, how favor works, he takes the labor out of the work. You still got to make the move and you still got to go, but he takes the labor out of the work. Whereas to you had to sweat and work and be strenuous to you and it break you down. You're going to go forth in the work, but it's going to be like a lightweight. So whereas it would have been like you're bench pressing 400, with God, you're bench pressing 25 per se. You're still doing the action. You're still doing the motion, which is our part and our portion that we have to do. We have to make the motion, but he's going to take it from 400 to 25. So now your lifting is easy and you won't even break a sweat per se.
Stop. Tony, go get my wallet.
Listen.
Bump that. She about to get a cash out. Don't do that.
So I think it was definitely faith, and it's definitely, I tell people, a testimony, because that's unheard of. You know, even the, and not to mention, my poster was on every door of the hair store.
Right.
So I walk up to go in this hair store that I went in and out of for years, and now my picture is on there.
See,
on like that alone, and I tell people they probably get sick of me posting it, but that alone is just, every time I see it, it does something to me because of where I came from. And for my daughters to walk in the store with me, I have 2 teenage daughters, and they just get ecstatic and they start putting it on Snapchat, or they start, you know what I'm saying? Like, me, to that to me is just like mind blowing. And the fact that I've only been back in the hair industry for 6 years. Only back for 6 years, less than 10 years. Most of the time it takes you at least 10 years to get established in the hair industry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At least a minimum. So yeah, and I've shipped to many states, even during quarantine: California, Virginia, Texas, Washington, DC, Florida, Hawaii. You know, every time I get one of those orders, I'm like, yo, like,
thank you,
Jesus. They know my name. Hawaii. I ain't never been to Hawaii or California, but here I am sending off this product, you know, to states that I hadn't even stepped foot in yet.
I love it. Big congratulations to you, sis. I think that's just, take notes during this interview. I didn't know where this was going to go. The Queen and I had talked about it. I don't know where this is going to go, but it is going exactly where it's supposed to go. And you know what? Can I speak this over you?
Yes, definitely.
This is coming from the questionable prophet right here.
Oh, come on with it. Come on with it.
You are going to go to California and Hawaii because there's going to be a new store that's going to pick up your line, and they want you to come and be a part of their grand opening. So you better get ready. And when you get that invitation and you act like you don't know who I am, that's okay. I'll come after you.
No, listen, Sophie D Radio is going with me for coverage. How about that?
Yeah!
Listen, I tell people, I take people with me. I'm the type to where I don't get up there and I don't reach back. I try to reach back and grab as many queens as I can on the side, because God did not elevate me. He didn't bring me success. He didn't release blessings to me. He wouldn't release something to me for me not to sow it into others. That's the way I think. And I've always been that way. So I'm always looking for a way to sow into others as well. So trust me, you'll be going with me, honey.
Yes.
Get the cameras. Let's go.
Hey.
Look. Exclusive.
Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus.
Come on, big Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about love. Live on a check.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Live on a check with the fresh vibes. Yeah, I say goodbye to a stress life. Hey, we can ride, I mean just right. No one is perfect, but it's worth it if we try. I mean, blemish on a blemish, cooking and I ain't finished. Back and forth like it's tennis. All of us need forgiveness. No wonder some of us run to a bottle like we are chemists. And those who be feeling low be getting higher than the ceiling. But we know that feeling of real love, that follow the feeling of real hug, the real hugs that come from a person who feels love. You feel love when you are a person who gives love. So
this love I got, buku alive, overflowing, dripping, full stop.
So we
Gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like.
stop worrying about the ifs, ands, or maybes. Hey, get on your mashed potato, all gravy. Hey, somebody always talking, they be hating. Yeah, but naysayers are not the ones that pay me. Hey, I heard that hallelujah and I felt you in agreement. Cause they only hallelujah when they feeling kinda needy. They ain't thirsty, they just greedy. I digress, yeah, I'ma leave it. Cause we all be full of pride, man, we all need more of Jesus. But we know that feeling of real love, that follow the feeling of real hug. The real hugs that come from a person who feels love. Feel love when you are a person who gives love. So
This love I got, buku alive, overflowing, dripping, full stop.
So we
Gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like.
keep it on a posse. We don't do the bad, just for everybody. Love heals on a hashtag. Sorry, not sorry. Them haters gon' be mad, man. Come over to our RV. Yeah, it's the promised land, man. You know I'm from New Orleans, and this is how we do it. We do it, baby, do it, baby, like you how you do it. L to the U to the B, 1 to the 5, LJSPD. I'm just playing, man. Y'all not just playing, but I love y'all. LUV, yeah.
This love I got, buku alive, overflowing, dripping, full stop.
So we
Gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back.
one more time.
This love I
got it too.
buku alive,
You got it too.
overflowing,
All got it like
dripping, full stop.
everybody like.
Gave it, gave right back like
Okay.
I gave it, gave right back like
Tell 'em.
gave it, gave right back like I gave it, gave right back like.
It came back.